The grizzly bear is one of the most powerful and fearsome wild bears on Earth. With its massive body and overwhelming strength, it can easily take down large prey such as deer, elk, or even bison. Grizzly attacks are often sudden and lightning fast, leaving victims little chance to escape. Not only are they ferocious, but they are also patient and cunning, sometimes becoming a silent and formidable predator. The combination of raw muscle power and sophisticated hunting instincts has forged the image of a true ruler of nature. This video will take you to spectacular and fierce moments of the grizzly bear, a symbol of wild strength. The wolf, the clever and cunning hunter of the wilderness, never fails to amaze when it dares to challenge the mighty grizzly. Clashes between swift wolf packs and a bear weighing hundreds of kilos are battles of brains against brawn. As wolves use sophisticated hunting tactics, closing in step by step, the grizzly responds with sheer rage and unmatched power. Every chase, growl, and head-on clash delivers breathtaking intensity. Viewers are not only captivated by the brutality, but also impressed by the survival instincts of both species. These incredible confrontations turn the wild into a grand stage for epic battles. On the grasslands, a grizzly bear strolls leisurely until it spots the carcass of a prey nearby. It approaches and quickly indulges in a free meal, while from a distance, a lone wolf keeps a sharp eye on it. Moments later, the wolf calls in the pack. They circle the grizzly, unsettling it. The entire pack rushes in, driving the bear away until it disappears into the forest. In the end, the wolves succeed in claiming the kill for themselves. Deep in the forest, a grizzly and a wolf pack fight over prey. The wolves snarl and threaten, but the bear stays calm and enduring. When the bear begins to walk away, the wolves mistake it for a move to steal the food and strike first. The grizzly remains silent, holding back. But when the pack suddenly returns and attacks again, the bear finally snaps. It lashes out, striking a wolf across the face. Terrified, the wolves scatter and are forced to retreat, leaving the grizzly victorious. By the riverbank, a wolf pack feasts on their prey when a grizzly approaches. The wolves immediately charge, launching a fierce attack and driving the bear away. It seems they have won, but the grizzly suddenly turns back and charges in again. In the end, faced with its overwhelming strength, the wolves are forced to surrender their meal to the giant. The elk, with its massive size and thick fur, is one of the most powerful and majestic wild creatures. They not only stand out with their pristine beauty, but also with extraordinary strength in life and death confrontations. However, when facing the grizzly bear, this elk must confront unprecedented challenges. The grizzly bear, with its agility and terrifying strength, launches a surprise attack, forcing the elk to fight for its life. These confrontations are intense, with each punch and charge full of determination. Meanwhile, the elk must use all its skills and strength to overcome the fierce predator. This battle is a relentless struggle between two powerful forces of nature. At the river in Yellowstone, the grizzly bear chases the elk, causing it to panic. It quickly catches up with the prey, biting into the elk's back, causing it to cry out in pain. The grizzly bear continues to apply pressure, slowly overpowering the elk as it sinks into the water. Once the prey is lifeless, the grizzly bear drags it onto the shore and begins to feast. By the riverbank, a grizzly bear is greedily devouring the prey on the land, undisturbed by the surrounding crows, still savoring the fresh meat of its victim. On the other side of the riverbank, the grizzly bear continues relentlessly chasing a young elk. With its frail body and the predator's determined pursuit, after a while, the elk begins to slow down. exhausted, giving the grizzly bear the opportunity to close the gap and catch its prey. Across the vast forest plains, massive and agile elk move cautiously to avoid danger. When the gray bear appears, the peaceful scene instantly turns into a tense survival arena. Spectacular chases unfold as the elk use extraordinary strength and speed to dodge the bear's powerful strikes. Every sprint, every thrust of the elk is a desperate effort to protect its life. These face-offs leave viewers breathless, syncing with the heartbeat of the wild. The gray bear is powerful, but the elk are smart and courageous, creating unbelievable battles. These confrontations are not just survival struggles, they showcase the elk's strength and remarkable resilience in the deep forest. On a hillside, a grizzly bear sprints down fast, targeting the elk below. As it nears its prey, it pauses to observe. The imposing presence of the grizzly catches the elk's attention, yet they remain calm, standing their ground. Moments later, the grizzly races along the hillside toward the elk herd, scattering them in panic. By the time the bear reaches them, the herd has fled entirely. In the meadow, a herd of elk migrating together encounters a gray bear in pursuit. The entire herd panics and flees as the bear gives chase. One young elk, unfortunately, is caught despite its desperate attempts to escape and fight back. On the grasslands, a herd of elk seems to be fleeing from some predator, their eyes scanning the surroundings warily. Suddenly, a grizzly bear charges from nowhere, sending them into a panicked stampede. But with its heavy body, the bear cannot keep up and eventually gives up, retreating. The wolf, with its agility and sharp hunting instincts, is always a feared predator in the wild. However, when it faces the grizzly bear, a powerful and authoritative creature, everything becomes incredibly tense. The battles between wolves and grizzly bears are not only bloody battles, but also a clash between pure strength and determination. The wolf, despite its speed and cunning, still faces powerful attacks from the grizzly bear. Both species are relentless, and every movement could decide life or death. These encounters are fierce challenges that even the strongest creatures must be cautious of. A life or death struggle where every strategy and strength is pushed to its limit. In Yellowstone National Park, a grizzly bear is busy burying its freshly caught prey in the thick snow. A pack of wolves sense the prey and moves in. They try to approach, but the grizzly bear, angered, charges toward them. As the wolves grow in number, they face the massive, stubborn grizzly bear that refuses to leave. Eventually, the wolves give up and retreat together. In the woods, a grizzly bear discovers a carcass left behind by another creature. It approaches and begins to feast on the meal set before it. Suddenly, from a distance, a pack of wolves, having picked up the scent of the carcass, approaches. The wolves try to distract the grizzly bear to claim the meal for themselves. After several attempts, the wolves, intimidated by the grizzly bear's massive and fearsome size, retreat, leaving the prey to their enemy with regret. Salmon, with their resilience and enduring strength, are among the most remarkable fish in the wild. Every season, they travel thousands of kilometers to return to their spawning grounds, but their journey is never easy. The encounters between salmon and grizzly bears during hunting are intense and dramatic battles. Salmon, with their strong survival instincts, are not easily caught. They swim fast and do whatever they can to escape the predator's attack. These life-or-death moments between salmon and grizzly bears will keep you on the edge of your seat. These fierce battles are not just struggles between species, but also trials of nature. By a stream, the grizzly bear stands at the headwaters, waiting for the salmon to swim past. It watches intently, even missing a few opportunities. In just a moment, the grizzly bear catches its first prey, happily placing it on a rock to enjoy. The grizzly bear quickly finishes eating and catches another one within seconds without expending much effort. Under the rushing stream filled with white foam, a grizzly bear carefully watches below, waiting for its prey. The grizzly bear lowers its head into the water, and in the blink of an eye, it catches a salmon, drags its catch to the shore along with its 2 cubs to enjoy the meal. Under the water, a grizzly bear is focused on catching its prey. A salmon is quickly grabbed by the grizzly bear, which sits just beneath the water, enjoying the fresh catch with great satisfaction. The bison, with its muscular body and incredible strength, is a symbol of resilience in the wild. However, when facing the grizzly bear, one of the most feared predators, everything becomes incredibly tense. The encounters between bison and grizzly bears are not only bloody battles, but also a clash between pure strength and determination. The bison, with its powerful horns and massive frame, fights back fiercely when attacked, but the grizzly bear is not easily deterred. Each charge from the bison is like a declaration of war, while the grizzly bear relentlessly attacks to assert its dominance. This battle brings heart-stopping moments where only one species can emerge victorious. The fight between these 2 powerful creatures leaves us in awe of their strength and survival instincts. On the other side of the road, a grizzly bear is slowly crossing the street. As soon as it reaches the other side, it rushes down a grassy hill where a bison is lying. However, seeing that the herd is larger, the grizzly bear decides to retreat from attacking. On the grassy hill, a bison spots the grizzly bear from afar and immediately charges toward it. As soon as the grizzly bear notices, it prepares to run toward the bison, but seeing the bison's aggression, quickly turns and flees. The 2 chase each other, but the grizzly bear is faster and eventually drives the bison away. The bison, a mighty symbol of the prairie, with its massive frame and sharp horns, is always ready for battles of life and death. When faced with a colossal grizzly, their clashes become more intense than anyone could imagine. The bear unleashes brutal power and ferocity, while the bison refuses to back down, countering with crushing charges and the full weight of its body. Roars echo, dust and rocks fly, and every impact shakes the land itself. The confrontation between these 2 titans is not only violent, but also a stunning display of wild beauty and raw survival instincts on the open plains. Each battle is both savage and tragic, leaving witnesses breathless. Such unforgiving struggles turn the prairie into nature's grand arena. On a grassy hill, a grizzly intrudes into a bison herd's territory and is immediately driven off by their combined force. But soon after, the bear returns, striking back and throwing the herd into chaos. The calf falls behind and quickly becomes its target. The grizzly drags it down and hauls it uphill. One brave adult bison charges in, knocking the bear over in an attempt to save the calf, but it's too late. Heartbroken, it has no choice but to retreat to the herd. On another hill, a mother bison has just given birth to her calf. Before she can even rest, she must run with her newborn as a coyote pursues them. A grizzly appears, chasing off the coyote and trying to approach, but the mother stays fiercely protective, refusing to let the intruder near. Though only minutes old, the calf clings tightly to her, matching every stride. Together they dash along the lakeshore, narrowly escaping the grizzly's pursuit. In the Lamar Valley of Yellowstone National Park, a bison spots a grizzly bear in the distant meadow. Without hesitation, the bison charges toward the bear. The grizzly stares for a few moments, then quickly bolts uphill, leaving the bison behind. The elk, with its majestic appearance and superior strength, is one of the most formidable wild animals. However, when faced with a grizzly bear, these elk not only rely on their strength, but also on agility and smart tactics to protect their lives. Encounters between elk and grizzly bears are always intense battles, where every movement is crucial. Although the grizzly bear possesses overwhelming strength, the elk is not easily defeated. They can use the environment to escape or counterattack. These moments are not only a fight for survival, but also a symbol of strength and resilience in the wild. On the plain, a herd of elk is migrating when they encounter a grizzly bear chasing them. The entire herd panics and runs when the grizzly bear chases after them. One young elk, unfortunately, is caught despite its efforts to escape and fight back. In Yellowstone National Park, a grizzly bear is chasing a herd of elk. The entire herd panics and tries to escape. However, the grizzly bear seems slower than the elk, and in the end it lets them escape, not catching any prey. At Grand Teton National Park, an encounter occurs between the elk herd and the grizzly bear. The grizzly bear is accompanied by two cubs, but it doesn't seem to intend to attack the elk herd. The caribou, with its long antlers and majestic appearance, is one of the strongest wild animals. They travel across vast and challenging lands, always on high alert. However, sometimes confrontations with grizzly bears turn into a life-or-death challenge. The grizzly bear, with its immense strength and terrifying speed, doesn't hesitate to charge into fierce battles with the caribou. These dramatic moments captivate viewers as the caribou uses all its strength to protect its life. Meanwhile, the grizzly bear, with its bravery and skill, doesn't let its opponent escape easily. This confrontation is a relentless battle between two of nature's most powerful species. Across the vast plains, the grizzly bear relentlessly chases the caribou herd. Every time it gets closer, the caribou immediately split up to avoid it. In the end, no matter how hard it tries, the grizzly bear cannot catch any of them, exhausted, watching them run away. On the endless prairie, the grizzly bear speeds through the lush green grass towards the caribou herd. Seeing the grizzly bear approaching, the caribou panic and scatter, forgetting that a young one has been left behind. It becomes the target of the grizzly bear, and in an instant, the prey is taken down. Mountain goats are animals with extraordinary strength and the ability to scale steep cliffs, making them fierce warriors of the mountains. With their firm footing and quick agility, they can easily escape danger. However, when faced with powerful predators like the grizzly bear, mountain goats show no fear. The clashes between mountain goats and grizzly bears are tense battles, where the goat's speed and intelligence can challenge even the massive bears. Despite the grizzly bear's undeniable strength, it sometimes has to hesitate before the determination of the mountain goat. These moments are full of suspense and excitement as both animals fight for survival. These encounters are a vivid testament to resilience and survival instincts in the wild. On a high rocky slope, a grizzly bear is using all its strength to climb and chase a mountain goat. But with its climbing instincts, the mountain goat easily escapes, and the grizzly bear is left behind. A herd of mountain goats is climbing up a high slope when suddenly a grizzly bear spots them from below. The grizzly bear follows the slope in pursuit, but the mountain goats manage to escape and shake off the predator. The deer, with its gentle and graceful appearance, is often known as a calm animal, but don't let its frail exterior fool you. When faced with a grizzly bear, these deer can display unexpected strength and incredible courage. The encounters between deer and grizzly bears are not just territorial disputes, but life and death battles where every movement could determine survival. Although deer are easy prey for grizzlies, they can still find ways to escape or even counterattack cleverly. Each battle between them is intense, making nature even more dramatic and captivating. In the forest, a mother deer is caring for her newborn fawn. Suddenly, there's a noise, and a grizzly bear appears, making the mother deer panic. Wanting to protect her fawn, she tries to run, but being too weak, she cannot get her fawn to escape. In the end, she runs away, leaving the fawn behind. The grizzly bear charges forward, tearing into and finishing off its prey. In a lush green meadow, a grizzly bear is foraging. Nearby, 2 deer are feeding, and as soon as the grizzly bear approaches, the deer notice and quickly flee. The grizzly bear misses its chance and turns away, leaving.